in streaming music. We don't see much streaming music. It's just forced on you like the Sausage Factory production. And it was always my foundation to know good music. And I go out and I meet people that are younger. And I say, "You like that? Well, tune to this." They don't get the anagrams because they start, they're getting that junk shoved at them. A lot of junk. And then they listen to it. I like that because it's a foundation. I'm not saying go retro. There's bands. I know Cowboy Junkies came out with a new album. Nobody knew it. See, the strings aren't getting out there. When they hear it, I like that. Younger people. And when I used to buy vinyl, and I haven't bought it anywhere, I haven't got to buy a new turntable and new record player. They threw it out. It was no use to them. Had expensive cartridge, had Ortofon, everything gone. But that's all right. I'm not going to fight them. I can build a business now. I'm getting older. But vinyl, the bit rate weight has got to be higher for recording it. And you can't just put garbage streams up there. You got to put good vinyl in there. But there's a sacredness to vinyl. You take it out of the vinyl cover and you really worship the music. And you might not like it at first, you know. You buy a record, you go into a boutique, a really nice boutique. And I used to have this problem because there's so much music in the 80s I used to go in. I come out, instead of one record, I look at all this art cover, come out with six. So I got a week of listening to the music. And you put it on, and it's progressive. So you don't really like it. It's something you're not used to. It takes about six tries to get in your mind that this is moving forward. I bought a lot of albums that way. And it was always seduced by like as a pretty woman, seduced by the cover. Album art is beautiful, some of the stuff we used to see. They came out with picture art, or picture records. They weren't very good. They didn't they molded they didn't mold them into the color and the photographs into the vinyl. It was on the top. It really hurt the sound, but they've improved them now. But I like buying 45, the big 10-inch. The sound quality on a 45 of good quality, thick, dense is really nice. It is. I got Steve Earle there in a version 8. Robert Johnson, Carapane Blues. Now, side one, Robert Johnson, really well recorded. Side two, you flip it over, Steve Earle doing the same cover. I love that stuff. I had a lot of 45 10-inch more. They just got a nice sound to them. You get a darn good cartridge, good power, good amp. You're gonna dig out some good music. Yeah, it's not. You gotta look after records. You gotta look after yourself. You gotta look after a dog, a cat, a horse. Same with vinyl, and you sort of. It's a ritual. You put you dust off the vinyl, put a brush on it, stroke it off, detach, take the static out with a static brush. A lot of gizmos. But it was sort of a sacredness to it. Now it's everybody's saying, "Oh, this is so much music." Well, Sausage Factories produce a lot of music, a lot of meat. It's just turning it out and pushing it out. I think it's a ripoff. I think what I'm hearing isn't very progressive. And I think that's where we failed in the music industry. We're not turning out like rock and roll's dead, in a way. you don't hear too much. And anything that's good won't go through the streams because it might be progressive and it won't get familiarized by somebody buying the record and playing it over and over again. I had one piece of music I didn't really gravitate to. I played it a few times. What was it? Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. Now, that wouldn't have sunk in to me. And I just kept on playing it. I like it. I remember when AC/DC came out with Thunderstruck and stuff. That was really extreme music. We get used to vinyl and we adopt it by our conditioning of familiarity. Familiarity cannot, we keep the same damn grooves in hip hop, grunge, and stuff because we're familiar. Young people are familiar to it, but it's not moving ahead. It's not really your music. It's just being shoved on you. Like my opinion, it's a sausage factory. And you call yourself artists? I don't think so. Good guitar player takes a long time to nurture their craft. A pianist, a keyboard player, a drummer. It takes woodshed, we call it. It takes a lot of skill. I got Peter Frampton. I like that. And Steve Winwood. I got some of the older albums were good, like 90s. Steve Hackett from Genesis. We were listening to a lot of that stuff. And it was very progressive and different. And it was buying the album and getting used to it. Somebody say, hey, you should try Lamb Laid Down on Broadway or Foxtrot by Genesis. Well, because my friends bought it, I'd go up and I'd listen to it. Listen to it and listen to it. Led Zeppelin came out. Led Zeppelin too. It was so progressive. How do we get into this? So I think it's put a stagnation of music in the whole system. Like Taylor Swift, she's starting to sound over-published, it's song and dance shows now, you know what I mean? Song and dance, getting on stage and selling a lot of concerts. Am I running you down? No, I was in the bar there and he says, oh, you're talking about the Whistle. A young guy said, the Whistle? Yeah, she's a skinny, middle-aged girl. Why would I listen to her? Oh, her music was good. But when you put the sacredness to music with a vinyl record, and what was CDs coming out with? Well, they were going from, we were always analog. And then your CD would say AD, digital, and digital, your mastering. So there was but we went right into digital. Now, to me, I'm an analog man. I really do like the sound of analog music. I play a digital keyboard. And I was using Roland. I was using Boss pedals. They're digital. That's electro-harmonic. These are analog, different circuitry. But I really like valve tube amps and good sound. You might say I'm nostalgic, but I might say the best speakers in the stereos that are still producing are the big horn speakers that were produced in 1949, and they haven't changed much. Still good sound, and that's Klipschorn, a very good speaker. Cerwin Vega, they were good speakers. But I really like Klipschorn. And they were huge. They were huge, but you can get very nice Klipschorn speakers. Turntables, Well, you use a manual turntable. You flip the record over. Not semi-automatic, manual. You got picked up behind. They're very expensive. Tone arms can go $300 to $500. Cartridges, a lot more. But it's a sacred thing, like drinking fine vintage wine. It's just you got a really nice turntable. You put it down and you take pride in it. So your record collection is sacred. Takes up room. You pack it and store it. I like physical media now. I don't even like the money we got. I'd rather have gold and silver. I like physical things. I think they're creating what the Buddha talked about is an attachment to an industry that's just flooding the market out. And I've heard a lot of regressions in music. Don't get attacking me. I come from the olden days, horse and buggy. Yeah, you know, I go in the cafe and he's playing really old blues albums, and I said, "That's John." He says, "You know a lot about the old blues albums." Yeah. How far do you go back in music? Horse and buggy days. I do. No, he was playing. What's his name? Chuck Berry took that sound. T-Bone Walker. T-Bone Walker licks. Listen to that. T-Bone, you'll hear the lick there, and Chuck Berry double stopped it, and changed it, and moved it around. Even Eric Clapton talks about it. T-Bone Walker, foundations, rudiments in music. It was Americana, and it broke into rock and roll. You go back to Skeeter Blackmore, all these old players. There, you can hear new songs like Coburn. I was listening to him, and I used to hear a song he did, Bruce Coburn. What is the soul, man? I think that's Leadbelly. Elvis was playing a lot of old songs. Going back to those periods, that was a foundation. Renditions or covers. We're just flooding the market with unthoughtful, unmindful, ungrounded music. Like I was just like in Australia, I remember Kate Bush. I remember all her albums coming out. Now they're playing them again in the vinyl shops. I got some Kate Bush. And Alanis Morissette, very good stuff. The Cranberries. But what's happened to our music industry? Oh, I look at Randy Bachman. He says it's a rip-off. I think so. I think he's right. I think it's a rip-off. I think the whole system. You're not making money. You go out in those streams and you're trying to shove it out the the sausage factory machine. Mixed in with a lot of other meat. Oh, I can't even go to a bar now and listen to that rubbish. Am I critical? It drives me nuts. Slow vibe and horrible garbage. I don't care if it's lounge grunge. It sounds crappy. Can I tell you that? I think it sounds rubbish. It's weak, soft, muffin cupcake. It's got no substance, no grounding to it. So I was listening to some of the older jazz. What is that? In the Groove. You ever hear that? Like, we can't even go in out of a 4/4 time. He was playing 8/16, pop, 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 pop. Changing the rhythmic elements, the time signature. What is Townes Van Zandt talked about? You can't even play a lullaby. You can't go to a 3/4 timing. You can't do much now. Or ballad. It's so controlled to get the environment to get it streaming. This is my kick on this. I've talked to other famous musicians. They complain about it too. Talk up to them on LinkedIn. And Even the music studios, they say 15 engineers in LA turned out junk. He says, when did the music die? Well, you show me all albums that I really know were good. Head engineer. He says, look at that. That's Argent. Yeah, really good stuff. What happened to it? Yeah, she lives over there. That's in the area, and that is Cowboy Junkies. Well, Elvis Costello's Lou Reed song. Used to play it in the 70s. Sweet Jean. I think Cowboy Junkies did the best version. Even Lou Reed said it was. Canadian singer songwriter. Uh, Listen to it. It's great. And she's a good singer. That's Margot Timmons, Cowboy Junkies. We're living up here. And I had their album on my cloud system, on my feeds, and I heard an album that they just recorded. I bet you other people don't hear that. It's new and progressive, but you wouldn't get out there. So how did music sell? Cover up. When Fleetwood Mac broke up, we're in rumors. The cover was amazing, telling a story. They were breaking up in the studio. They weren't getting along. So you look at the cover, read an article on that. Fleetwood Mac's rumors. It was about them breaking up. John McVie with Christine McVie, Stevie Nicks with Lindsey Buckingham. And it'll show a scene. They're all looking at each other, go hug each other. And it's John McVie hugging Lindsey in the next shot, and Christine hugging Stevie Nicks. It's not they're gay, they just broke up and they were fighting in the studio when they recorded it. They were in the breakup of their marriages, their relationships. So there was a story to it. And record art has got a lot of story. I love the art, photography, everything. I've got some beautiful art. Like a lot of people collect it and get frames and put it on the wall. It's beautiful stuff. Record cover art was good because that's the way we promoted music, and it changed that we listened to something that was sort of very progressive because our brain is used to a certain rhythmic element or a certain feasibility. That's my argument about music now. And am I running down Gen Zs or Gen X? No, I'm saying you've lost it. You haven't got control of your music. Does it express who you are with all that anger and that noise? And like I wouldn't even use. I was going to use GarageBand. There's all these junky loops and stuff. It's just like using Instagram. You got all these templates of nonsense. It's not really organic from the get go music. And I love the story of music and rock and roll and how the records got written. Because, and I miss it. I really like, well, this man here, he's a friend of mine. He's got a record vinyl shop here. He's making a fortune selling records. And it's not my age. It's Gen Z's going in there and listening to a lot of stuff. You know what they're listening to? Oh, they're going retro. Because they want to be musicians. So they're listening to a lot of Mingus and jazz. And I listen to classical. I'm very eclectic. I listen to a lot of music. I just got a point. I don't like heavy metal, and I hate hip hop, and I hate grunge. I really do. Yeah, he says, "Well, that's your opinion." No, that's not my opinion. It's a fact. It's garbage. I've listened to a lot of music, and I remember when something come out, ooh, that's awful new. It's a little bit progressive. Like it was always the platform of one going on to another. Reed Levington, this is your brain on music, a neurological study of this. Pet Sounds was a breakaway from anything the Beach Boys did in '66. A complete move forward in surf music. It was very progressive. Jolene by Dolly Parton. The ambience in that. Music had progressions. The Beatles, Sergeant Pepper was a monumental shift. It changed the whole system. But it came out in the vinyl, and it was a lot of cover art on it. It attracted people to listen to it. So do you judge a book by its cover? Well, sometimes you go in the bookstore and you see something in a cover. Maybe I'll take it home and buy it and read it. Well, vinyl is doing that. And I think that's where we're wrong. Judge an album and see something you like. I don't know. But it might be very progressive. And you'll get used to it. And it might move music ahead. Like how many years have we had this music for? My times, going through my life, music was going through massive shifts. Like we get sick of one type of music, we'd shift to punk rock. We shift from everything just to rebel against the machine. But we are the machine now. It just sucks right now. Really